Ma'am. Well, might come to you, ma'am.
Tell them who you are.
Oh, sorry. Nina McLemore, and I'm in the apparel business. The question is about how do you build the team? And what do you do when you have team players who are either not competent or not passionate about the game or defensive?
Okay, sure. So competence absolutely matters, of course. You hired them. So what did you see in them that you hired? Did they lie to you? And the question is it that they're incompetent, or is it that they're in the wrong place inside the organization? Are they incompetent? Do they have a lack of training? So is there a mechanism for somebody to say to you, so an organization that is well-led, you can have vulnerability. There's a circle of safety. There's vulnerability in that organization. Vulnerability doesn't mean we will walk around crying. Vulnerability means someone can walk into your office and say, I don't think I'm prepared to do this job that you've asked me to do. I don't feel qualified to do it. Or they can come to you and say, I made a mistake. Or they come to you and say, I'm scared. Or I'm having troubles at home. We don't know what's producing the failure or the struggle in the performance. It could be any host of things that may or may not be their competence. So the question is, do you have a mechanism to have that conversation? You talked about people who aren't passionate. Everyone's passionate. We're just not all passionate for the same things. Passion is a result. It's like profit, which is if I'm engaged in something that feeds my soul and I feel safe in the environment I'm in and I feel like I'm growing, I will be passionate. And so if you say that people are unpassionate inside the organization, I wouldn't blame the people. I'd say either they're in the wrong job, or you shouldn't have hired them because they don't actually fit your value set, or there's something going on in their life that maybe we should be concerned about them. Like, are you okay? Your passion is down. This is not like you. And what was the third point? Defensive. And defensive. So if people are defensive, again, is there a culture of feedback? Do you have a culture where honest feedback is expected and required, which doesn't happen overnight? Are they put in environments where they can feel safe being criticized as opposed to feeling that they need to be defensive? Again, I don't blame the people. Do you have a communications training course? Do you teach effective confrontation? Because maybe the person being defensive, it's the person who's confronting them who doesn't know how to have a confrontation. And if you attack me that way, I'd be defensive too. So it's not always the people. We're so quick to say they're incompetent, they're not passionate, and they're defensive, and yet we don't look at ourselves and say, maybe I don't know how to have a confrontation, maybe I'm not being empathetic enough, and maybe we shouldn't have hired them or we put them in the wrong position. And then if we made a bad hire, we can't blame them for that. So how do we help? Because if we're not happy with them, they're not happy working, how do we help them find a new job with dignity?
Fantastic. We're going to go to the back on the right, and then we'll come up right here. Okay, right here in the back.
Hello, my name is Fernando. I have a startup based in Mexico City.
I give you this.
And I wanted to ask what your thoughts were regarding that. More often than not, we find ourselves surrounded by negative environments. And you spoke about this analogy of the acrobat not doing a stunt without a safety net, which would be people caring for you. But what about if that doesn't happen? I think really the point is trying to make negative environments into good environments.
Yeah.
And maybe trying to go further than that step of empathy and compassion towards doing something that you know that other people would